except for in this video, 15 things you need to know about living in Portland. We have a bonus one at the end. So number one thing that you need to know about living in Portland, we call it the Rose City. And one of the reasons is roses grow really awesome here. And we have this giant rose garden in Forest Park, which, if you don't know, is the largest park within city limits of any city in the United States. Over 500 acres of park right smack in the middle of the city.
The Lake Erickson
Trail is awesome. I've trained for my half marathons there and I've ridden bikes on that trail.
And it's cool because you have like city views like that peek out all through the whole thing. There's people on bikes, there's people walking, there's people running.
And there are the the
little trail system.
And there's one of them that I think will take you up to
Skyline.
And what's the house up there? Pittock Mansion.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
I've lived here my whole life. I can't remember. Shit. Okay, so that brings us to number two.
Number two, we want to talk about the weather. So we pretty much get all 4 seasons here. And I grew up in Seattle, Washington. So as most people know, in the Pacific Northwest, it rains a shit ton. Seattle, I would say, definitely rains a lot more than here. And
so Portland, actually, the average is the same as the national average for every state in the nation.
So it'll be raining, but it's not going to be a huge amount of rain. So a lot more doable. One of the reasons that I wanted to move from Seattle, actually, it was like 115 days in a row of like actual rain. So, like seasonal depression. And like I was out of rain jackets by that time and I was just over it.
Seasonal affect.
It's a real thing. But on the flip side of that coin, it's lush, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's everything.
Amazing summer.
Yeah, bloom right now. And then speaking of that, like some things that we've noticed in the last 2 years, the temperature in the summer is like kind of going up.
It is.
Global warming, there's controversial things there.
I really think there's like overall less days of rain.
Yeah.
I was just talking to my fiance, guess what, I'm going to be a stone 2 here in a little bit, that it feels like Oregon is becoming the next California, as California is becoming the next Arizona weather-wise.
Yeah.
So maybe it's all these Californians that are coming up here that are bringing that weather with them. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, the 4 season thing though, it's really nice. I know we have people coming in from the East Coast or the Midwest and it's like one or the other kind of thing. So we do get some snow here. We didn't really this year, but the year before we did have some. So a lot more mild. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And the rain, it doesn't really bother me as much as it used to, I guess.
There's a thing, I forget what channel it's on. I don't really watch TV anymore, but there is a weather forecaster guy.
Noah?
No, it's a regular Channel 6 or Channel 8 or whatever. And he talks about this all the time where he just goes out and he talks about how Portlanders, I'm sure Seattle Lights, is that what they're called? Yeah. They also, the rain doesn't stop anybody. We still get on our bikes, we still go hiking, we still go downtown, we still do all of our shopping. And one of the things you need to know is get a good raincoat.
Yeah.
An umbrella is not.
We got the cutest ones this year. In one of our videos, actually, we'll be out in the rain. I think that'll be fun. Showcase. I got this super cute. It's like a little crisscross one for Maybon.
Yeah, didn't you say you look like Paddington Bear?
I look like Paddington Bear with my little boots and everything. So
an umbrella is just not going to cut it because it can get a little windy, especially when you're downtown. It creates breezeways between the city skyscrapers, so your umbrella will. Oh yes, we'll let you do it.
I think I was meant to be a weather girl, guys.
But it does make for amazing summers and being able to, get on a boat on one of the rivers or go to a, lake or creek nearby and do stuff. Oh, speaking of boats, I don't know if you know this, maybe it's a little, and then additional added bonus, we have another one at the end, but we actually have boats that have hot tubs on them that you can rent and you can boat down the river in a boat hot tub.
Comment down below if you want to come on one of those boats with us or see us on one of those boats.
I feel like when you come into the town, we will take you out and show you all the great stuff, one of them being riding in a hot tub boat.
Yeah.
Number three is there is no sales tax in Oregon, anywhere in Oregon. So obviously the Portland metro, well, I wouldn't say the Portland metro area. So Portland, which is in Oregon, we consider the metro area to also encompass some of Southwest Washington.
Yep, Vancouver, Camas, Ridgeville, Battleground, those which we also service those areas, but yeah.
So something to know that we can help you navigate is that you can get the benefits of the no sales tax here in Oregon while still living in the Portland metro area in the Southwest Washington kind of side of things, and get no property taxes while living in Washington and no sales tax while shopping in Oregon.
Wait, so property tax?
Income.
State
income tax. Sorry.
There's property tax for sure.
No income tax.
Yeah.
Because you can't live in Washington but work in Oregon and not pay income tax.
I just have a CPA for all this. Because it's my least favorite topic is taxes. So.
You don't, without having to go to a CPA, you can comment below and ask a question and I can respond.
No, you can't. You're not a CPA.
No, I'm not going to give you tax
advice.
I'm not going to give you tax advice. I'm not going to tell you how to do your taxes, but I can help you navigate living in Washington and shopping in Oregon.
There you go.
And saving as much money as possible.
Autumn.
We have a little distraction here. Tara's dog Bird is currently humping a
It's my
pillow.
yoga pillow or my meditation pillow. Oh.
Okay,
Number four. So
One
we
of
want
our
to talk
favorite
about
things.
yes, beer, food, wine, coffee, all of those things. So there's so many amazing restaurants and bars and wine bars and breweries and coffee shops here in Portland. Like, oh my gosh, when the weather,
it's like every corner, every street
yeah.
has like one of everything.
Seriously, yeah. So some of our standbys, like Pok and some of the other restaurants, did go away and stop during COVID. We were so sad to see them go, but
There's a lot more.
yeah, there's been so many more that have come up. Food carts here are incredible.
So many.
Yeah, some of our favorite things to do when we have our meetings, like we'll go ride our bike somewhere in the city and, you know, just park up somewhere. Yeah, food cart pod, or go to one of the many restaurants.
Because a lot of times in the food cart pod, like centrally located within the food cart pod. So there's a tap house centrally located with all of these food carts around. So it's the best of all worlds. You don't have to decide, are we going to, you don't have to make that decision. You might have a picky eater in the family who only eats bean and cheese burrito.
We don't know any of those. Yep, children.
But you all want, you know, to satisfy your own adult palate.
Yeah.
As well as imbibe a little in some local wine and beer.
Or ciders. The ciders here too are amazing. We're both, I don't think we mentioned it. Yeah, we're both gluten-free realtors. So like to buy bread, do that whole thing. But yeah, I would say like, really, like you have so many options. Tacos, like we're gonna do Taco Tuesday today. Yeah. There's so many options.
There are dedicated gluten-free places.
Yeah, dedicated gluten-free places, gluten-free bakeries. You don't have to spend a fortune either to find really, really good food.
Yeah.
Like if you go down Southeast 82nd, oh my God, some of the Asian infused foods are like pho or different things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, truly authentic, really, really delicious and super affordable. And then even in the downtown sector, kind of in all the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like seriously, if you have a question about one of these neighborhoods and what type of food or different restaurants, comment down below. Yeah, let us know. We try to go.
We're big foodies.
Like
she's a big cook. I don't cook.
I say chef.
Okay. She's a chef.
And
I like to eat.
Yeah.
So I eat a lot. I mean, anyway.
And then another thing, so the coffee shops, we have a lot of our meetings at the coffee shops as well. There's always free Wi-Fi and it's super, super nice. It's going to kind of spill over into one of the other things we're going to talk about with everybody. It's just a lot of people kind of like us, self-employed, who are, they're there and that's your office for the day. Wineries, there's a ton of wineries. You guys, I'm sure, have heard of Willamette Valley. That's a real thing. Usually I'm having a glass of wine right about this time of the day, but yeah, if you're interested in wine, there's like mom and pop wine shops. There's all of these different things all around. So let us know what you're interested in that. Shoot you into the right direction. So Number 5.
Number 5, one of
This is
our
our
favorite
favorite.
places to go.
Yes.
Is Powell's Books.
It takes up a whole city block, like an
It is
entire gimornus is how my daughter likes to say the word. So
She's also the bean and cheese burrito eater.
Yeah. I was at Powell's 2 different times this week. My mom is down visiting from the Seattle area. She'd never been, and I was like, we have to go to Powell's. They've pretty much got something for everybody.
And
Free gifts, free books, like
and it's laid out so well. Like each section is so big, and it's so much fun just to walk through. It's definitely, if you come to town, whether you're looking for houses or just coming to visiting friends, one of the places you have to go is Powell's Books.
Yeah.
We have a client right now who works at the coffee shop right there. So
saw her too. And I almost would say, if you're thinking about relocating and you have the time and availability before you buy here, it's really good to come and do like a field trip day in Portland. So like, do the tourist stuff. We could set an itinerary up for you, but like, hey, check out this neighborhood, go to these couple of places.
Especially if you let us know ahead of time a
Yeah.
couple things
Or we
about
can meet
you,
up with you.
like what your lifestyle is, because each place kind of has its own vibe.
Yeah.
And we know those vibes very well and can help situate you in a way that's gonna make, whether it's, we can price point you close enough to whatever your vibe is that you can get there with ease.
Be walkable suburbs, whatever. So. On to number 6. So the sports team. So as you know, I'm from Seattle, born and raised there. So when I was younger, there was the Supersonics, which are no longer, but we had Supersonics, we had the Seahawks, we had the Mariners. So it was kind of like,
Did you have a hockey team?
The hockey team wasn't in existence until much later, but they're, a thing right now. So when I moved to Portland, I was a little bit disappointed, to not have those things, but really Seattle's only 3 hours away, or you can take a train or whatever, but we have some awesome
We have a
teams
couple
here.
really awesome
really fun
options for NBA and
Trailblazers,
soccer.
Yes.
So,
and the Timbers and the Thorns.
Oh, yeah. Soccer is legit. And
They're huge.
Or
Or football from our.
Yes. My family would call it that for sure.
Yeah.
So I heard recently that there have been a lot of people who say going to a Timbers game is quite the experience for any of you super big sports fans. They have all of these chants. They have their.
It's called the Timbers Army, and it's like
the
legit.
Timbers Army.
Yeah, so you have, your stadium.
Blazer Nation and the Timbers Army.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's a section, and like people dress up as like these like lumberjack things with big like hammer axes or whatever.
They do all kinds of things. I've only been once. I'm not a super big star.
I need to go sit in that portion because I think it'd be really
that
fun.
NBA. Blazers, that's my deal.
Yeah.
So for those of you, but there are lots of other options. So there is a baseball stadium off of 26, kind of in Hillsborough. There's one in Southeast Portland for the Portland Pickles. There's one
in Linz, which is
Kaiser.
actually, so Foster Powell, if you go just a little bit south of that, Linz, super affordable still, excuse me, and it's kind of continuing to be in the up and coming. There's a lot of newer like condos and apartments with like markets and different things like that down below. So
it's so much cuter than it used to be. I've lived there on several occasions.
What was it, the Golden Penny or the...
Oh, no, the Copper Penny.
The Copper Penny. So that was still, the building was still there. And you can Google it or whatever, but that was still there when we first moved here. Dance club, and that was demoed, and then they put up Oliver Station and all of that, which I like because it was additional housing.
Yeah.
Affordable.
And then there's the food cart pod.
Oh, the
right across the street.
Oh my gosh. Remember the name, but comment down below if you remember what it is,
or if you want to know, and we'll look it up and respond.
A lot of ethnic choices that are really. So number 7, I would say this was another top reason that I wanted to move here. So when you're in Portland or the Portland Metro, you're basically like an hour and a half to 2 hours on either side. You have the coast, you have the seaside, which is great for families. You have Cannon Beach, Manzanita, and then if you're back in Portland,
Tillamook Ice Cream Factory.
Oh my God, yeah, no,
Stop it.
place to go. If you go the other direction, you're gonna go up to like Mount Hood, Hood River. Yeah, so all of the skiing, snowboarding, and all of that.
There's lots of lakes and stuff up on the mountain too.
Timothy Lake, camping. So when COVID hit, you know, I'm a big time traveler, we both are, we couldn't really do that.
So
So
much camping.
we started like stand-up paddle boarding and camping and doing all these other really, really fun things.
Motorcycle riding.
Oh yeah, mountain biking.
riding.
Yep. Biking in general.
Yeah, biking in general.
Hiking.
Hiking is huge. Just visiting all of the waterfalls.
Ooh, hot springs.
Hot springs.
Oh, Brighton Bush. So I got to go and experience Brighton Bush for the very first
Yeah.
time.
It's amazing.
I actually went by myself. I booked a little cabin room.
Gone by myself.
Oh my God, it's amazing. You actually get to completely unplug. They don't have Wi-Fi. You don't have cell phones or anything. So
Great.
if you're like us, where you're like legit plugged in all the time, it's a wonderful experience. The staff and everybody was really, really nice. And
And then there's other hot springs too by Springfield.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
hot spring out there. There's
should do like a hot
Bagby
springs.
Hot Springs up on the mountain again, on your way up to the mountain. Close by in Carson, there's Carson Hot Springs over there. That's like an hour and a half drive,
Yeah.
not very long at all. That one they pipe in stuff. There's another one. There's one Whitefish. What's next to Whitefish?
Great.
Anyway, there's a Whitefish. Whitefish? No, that's Whitefish, Montana. White salmon. White salmon. Right next to that, there is a hot tub place up there.
Oh, the Society.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it the Society?
Is that what it is? The
Yeah.
Society Hotel.
So
Bingen.
Yeah, what she's
Bingen.
talking about, basically, if you go down the gorge, so you have
Highway
Washington on one side, you have Oregon on the other side.
84.
Yep. So you're gonna hit like Hood River, and then at one point you can cross over.
The Bridge of the Gods.
Bridge
which
of
is
the
awesome.
Gods. It's like a $2 toll or something.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that is
You have to
Stevenson.
roll down your window and look because it's
I don't like that
see-through.
part.
It's even better if you're on a motorcycle.
No.
It's pretty rad.
It's not good. I'm afraid of heights, so I'm not. Anyways, proximity to pretty much anything you could want is wonderful.
Yeah, you got it all. You're surrounded by everything.
On to number 8.
Number 8.
So we're
So
both passionate about this one. I think I just spit on you a little bit.
that's okay. She's just making noise. She lives in the suburbs. I live in the city.
It's still considered Portland, but I have to say, I really am super proud of the fact that we have yard waste, we have recycling, and then we do have smaller garbage bins. Out where I'm at, it's every
in
week.
the yard waste, you can also put the compost. So you
Yeah.
compost inside the house.
A lot of people
Reduces your garbage footprint.
Yeah.
And the methane gases that go out into the atmosphere. So you have compost, yard debris in one bucket. Then you have your recycling, and you get
actually, yeah, glass is totally separated.
glass is separate
Yeah.
as well. And you get a thing like every year that tells you what your schedule is, as well as what you can and cannot recycle to make it very easy for you.
Yeah.
And then you get, in the city where I live, you get a tiny garbage can, and they only come every other week.
Yeah.
So at first you are like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to fit my garbage in a tiny. But once you get used to it, it's super easy, and it's so much better for the environment. And
Yeah.
one of the things here is that we are reducers, reusers, and recyclers.
Yeah, like the shopping bags. So probably,
Reusable, recyclable.
yeah, I think
shopping
this
bags.
is in a lot of places, but in Oregon, I know in Washington, California, other places, like they don't just give out paper, or I think plastic bags are totally gone, but if you want a paper bag, it's 5 cents. But you use your own bags. You get the little recycling or recycled bags, and actually a lot of those are actually made from old plastic bags, which is really, really cool. So you get a discount when you use your own bag, and I mean, I have
And your own cup at the coffee shop.
yeah, if they're allowing that again. If you go to Whole Foods, they give you a wine bag, which I would help you buy 6 to get a discount, but
There's so many of those that she left at my house. I started giving them to the Goodwill.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need a closet full of wine bags.
I know, we should go and drop those off. But anyways, it's really neat because I know when you go to some of the other places, like if you go out to the coast, they don't have recycling just available where they do pick up, but they have transportations
Yeah.
and things like that. So it's amazing. We really like it. And also they do, they charge a deposit for your cans.
Yes.
And then you can actually get that money back. So there are quite a few people who are, going around picking up cans.
So one of the things that I do is you can go to the store and you get a box of they're called green bags, and you start an account, and it gives you this little QR code on the sticker, and you put the sticker on the bag. You take that all together in a bag. You don't even have to sift
Separate,
through
yeah.
anything. and you shove the whole bag into this big thing, and they count it or weigh it or whatever, and they put it onto an account for you.
Yeah.
And then you can use that money with an additional percentage added onto it to the grocery store, or you can pull it out in cash, whatever it is that you want to do.
So
I come to her house with a green bag when we party, because I take all of those things out.
white cloths. No, but I think it's nice, and it's a way to sort of help manage some of those costs and different things and keep it clean.
I wish, one of the things, I mean, I love my town, don't get me wrong. I wish though that part of the employment was that we employ people to really sort through the recycling and make sure that it's done correctly. I think that there's a lot of people who kind of, skate by or don't do it like they should.
Anyways,
tangent about recycling.
Yeah, and if you, I'm actually pretty curious because I've been to it, a couple different places. Like, comment down below if you want to, where you live right now.
What's your recycling
kind of
situation?
what's the situation? Is it important to you? Does it matter? It matters to us, but you might be like, who cares? Whatever. So, on to number 9.
Whoa, going back in time.
So, I think this is starting to be a trend in a lot of places, but weed, marijuana, is legal here. So there's pot shops everywhere. Kind of everywhere. You have to be 21, you have to show ID, you have to pay cash to go into these places.
It's a huge tax benefit for the area.
Yeah, there's something called
a lot of tax revenue.
A bud tender, which is like a bartender.
On the same vein.
Oh, really cool. Yeah, this is 9.1.
Yeah, this is the half bonus, an additional half bonus. So we recently voted to decriminalize small amounts of other kinds of substances. Yep. And so one of the things that's going to happen January 1st of 2023 is, and we're hoping, well, not we are hoping, but I read an article about it that they're hoping to put together a whole thing like they did with weed, to make sure that you can go to a facilitator, a provider that will help with microdosing on mushrooms. So very, very tiny little amounts that can help with anxiety and seasonal affect, depression, and rewire your brain.
They've done a bunch of studies actually. People with PTSD, people with just ongoing depression. It's been known, to really help to kind of open you up, and to help work through some of those things.
This is all on the microdosing side. It's not like you can come here and have like a huge mushroom chip.
Well, I mean, you could if you know the right people.
I mean, I guess not legally. Oh, maybe you could. I mean, I don't know what the total amounts are, but I did think that it was something that would be interesting if it's interesting to you, or if you have a big.
We are in no way promoting drug use, but it is available.
It's just something you should know about if you're thinking about relocating for the Portland area.
Yeah.
So, January 1st. I think it's really.
Number 10, this is actually near and dear to the both of us, but I have to say, I lived in Seattle and then actually lived in NorCal for about 10 years. One of the reasons that really drew me to Portland was the amount and accessible greenways and things like that for bicycling. So I absolutely love not having to get in the car and just getting on my bike and going anywhere.
And they're adding more and more.
Yeah, it's safe.
Day.
It's most people who are here know, okay, there's going to be cyclists, so you know where to look. There's bike lanes in a lot of places. It's really safe, and I would say the majority of people, accept it and really like it. There's over 300 miles of trails within the city. Forest Park, as we mentioned before. There's the Springwater Corridor Trail. You could go, over the bridges. You can go pretty much over most of the bridges.
And we have huge cycling events as well.
Like Naked Bike Ride.
The Naked Bike Ride is huge.
Big one.
There's the one where you bike across all the bridges.
Yep, it's something.
Bridge cross, or I don't remember what it's called. But it's a big thing. Once annually they have that as well.
Yeah.
We're really known for the Naked Bike Ride. And
we're gonna.
They add more naked bike rides every year. So there's not just the big naked bike ride that happens downtown, but they have some ones that are shorter in the neighborhoods.
Yeah. Really, really fun. And the other thing, it's family friendly at a lot of, not the naked bike ride.
Well, it depends on your family values.
But family friendly.
Naked is natural.
So with bike riding, like we've mentioned a couple times, my daughter's 11 and she bike rides. We are super comfortable just going out, bike riding with her, you know, knowing all the proper hand signals.
Yeah.
Of course,
She knows better than I do.
I know, safe with the helmet and everything, but that is a huge draw, and the weather's getting nicer, so you'll actually probably see us in some videos out on our bike rides touring some of the neighborhoods.
And so we'll know for you, if you are a big cyclist and you want some like hills if you want to be in a neighborhood that's really hilly so that you get some really challenging, or if you want to
go to the west side.
If you're more of a cruiser, like a cruiser, with, you know, with the big fat tires and all that stuff, or you're just like want to cruise around, suburbs are for you because it's like flat in those areas.
That's super easy. And also Nike Bike Town is a big thing, so you can, you know, it's a card or you pay whatever.
Yeah.
You can rent a bike. I've seen a lot of people do that. And I think we're gonna talk about public transportation, or that might be another video, but that is another way. We have the bikes, we have the scooters to be able to get around super easy. So, all right, let's move on. Yes.
Okay, so we're on to number 11. Believe it? How far into this? I've taken a long time. I don't know. Maybe you're really interested.
Hopefully, you're still here with us.
Yeah, stay to the end because the bonus. This is a lot number. Can't even wait. Number 11 is, I mean, so I've been here my entire life and I've never, ever had to pump my own gas.
So, but like, look at her beautiful nails.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to do that anyways.
I don't want to smell like gas.
Yeah.
It scares me because I think I've heard stories about some sort of static electricity that will make it blow up.
It's not okay.
And in the instances where outside of Oregon, when I forget to put my gas cap back on, and then I have the check engine light, and then I think my car is dying and I have to buy a new car.
This is what Tam does. Check engine light, new car.
New windshield wipers.
I have a regular gas car, and then I have a Sprinter van. We'll probably do a video on that at some point, but it's diesel. And I tell you what, unless you're in like super long rubber gloves, if you have to pump the freaking diesel into it, you're gonna smell like diesel for the whole rest of the day. And I have like a super sensitive smell thing.
Some people love this.
I hate it.
I
like lawnmower gas. Like, you know, when you go, if you tour a house, it's different though when you go into like a garage and they have like the lawnmower or like the chainsaw or something.
Maybe you like oil.
Or like older men. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so that is a thing. There was a vote recently where they're talking about giving you the option to pump your own gas or not. But
you know what I love too? Is
really
like a lot of times if the gas pumper people, I forget what they're called, are bored, they'll like wash your windows and do all of this awesome stuff.
Yeah.
My son actually was a washer window guy. Gas attendant, I think is what they're called. And he just thought it was hilarious because every time he could give him tips.
Yeah. Hey, and then I'm making a special appearance here, you guys. This is Birdie. Yeah, she's finally calmed down.
Don't get weird.
Let's move on to number 12. Another amazing thing that I noticed right when I moved here. So we had some friends moving here, but I didn't know a lot of people. So I would go and study or work in coffee shops, like you said, or bars, wine bars, whatever. And people are just chatty. They're super nice. They're really chill. They're friendly.
Apparently we don't get out a lot.
Well, I just feel like, you know, when you go to some other places like New York or wherever, like people aren't as open if you just sit down and like start up a conversation. But I really did like, it's easy, it's authentic, it's real. Like everybody, for the most part, is pretty nice and pretty, like if you ask for directions, I'm not afraid to like fuck off, you know, they're get your Google Maps.
Like, not a big tourist town. So,
everybody's
on tourist money.
Yeah, might as well just do it. So,
and we only want friendly people to move here.
No, we need assholes as well for the felons.
I don't know. Do assholes generally think of themselves as assholes?
Well, that's like saying this person.
Yeah, or crazy. You can't tell a crazy.
Yeah. Anyways. Moving on to number 13.
Number 13.
So, Tam grew up here, so she was super familiar with this. Me coming from out of town, I was like, what do you mean?
I grew up in the middle of nowhere.
There's Quadrants, and it's legit Quadrants.
There used to only be 4.
Yeah. So
now there's
northeast.
5. Can you believe it? Quadrants, because that makes so much sense.
It really does.
This is why we're so friendly.
Oh my gosh, we're like, oh, are you from the west side? No, so northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest. So
And south.
the rivers basically divide
dividing
the east from the west, and then Burnside divides the south from the north, which is probably the easiest way, I would say, to kind of describe what's going on.
Portland proper is
In the quadrant.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, you know, it names a certain direction and then it numbers a certain
Yeah, there's
direction.
an order alphabetically.
And then there's certain places, and then there's other places where every street is named after a tree, so pine, ash, oak, those
That's
sorts of
more
things.
downtown.
Yeah. So
But
it's really so one of my big pet peeves is when I go into Washington and I'm like, how is it that I'm on the corner of 3 and 38? I don't. Or you go like you're going up in numbers one way, but you're going down in numbers, and I'm like, this is so confusing.
Somebody was drunk within me.
It's really easy.
It's super easy, and like speaking to that, when I was bike riding when I first moved here, getting around and navigating, I was like, oh my god, do I need to have this whole thing routed out? You don't. You just kind of go with the flow and follow it, and once you understand how the quadrants work, it's really, really easy. The 5th quadrant is the south.
The newest one from south.
Yeah, and that's like Wilsonville, Lake Oswego, Salem. Well, I guess that's a little, no, that's too far south.
Yeah, you're going way south. The quadrants are within Portland itself.
What's the south part though?
It's south waterfront.
Okay.
So it didn't used to be anything, but now there are so many condos, the high-rise condos that are out there, the new ones out there.
I still am a little, since I've
part
only
of Southwest down there, where right on the water.
Raleigh Hills, Multnomah Village, all of that.
Really small. We'll do a video that's all about the 5 quadrants, because one of the things that you need to know
what does that make
quadrant,
it 6 quadrants?
I don't think it's good. I think that's part of the north.
I'm
We'll have to look
gonna
at it.
say there's 6.
I think so too. But we should do a video.
This is our video, so we're gonna say it so.
On the quadrants, because you need to know that I think maybe we talked about this earlier, but every area kind of has its own vibe. So
That's
like
totally
what we were talking
true.
about before is if you give us an idea of some of your lifestyle, like what it is that you're looking for in the area in which you're at, along with price point and blah, 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 we can help direct you in which of the quadrants would be more beneficial for you to live in.
And I've lived pretty much, all on the east side, but within that, and then Tam's lived in a lot of spots. So we have like
I've lived
firsthand
south
knowledge.
in Oregon City and Milano. I've lived on the west side in Beaverton and Tigard.
I feel like we're rambling, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on. So number 14, Portland's a college town, you guys.
A lot of people discount it, in my opinion. There are tons and tons and tons of colleges. I went to school at PSU. There's George Fox University,
University of Portland,
which is in North Portland. There was Concordia, which I don't think is a college anymore. There are Bible colleges. There is Portland Community College. There's Clackamas Community College. So one of the reasons why I think Portland is so weird and progressive is because we have so many colleges. We have so many in commuter colleges. So PSU is a huge commuter college. So you have people who are there, they might have gotten in when they're 18, but they might still be going to college at 80 years old. And so you have these really progressive-minded people who are problem solvers and critical thinkers, and it's one of the things about being a college person, I guess, no matter what age you are, is that you're constantly being challenged to think outside of the box. And so that's why I think we have the wave of progressiveness that we do in Portland proper and some Portland Metro, is because we are constantly learning.
And people are just open and not just like, okay, it's this one way and that's how it has to be. So
there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, as I say.
Okay.
It's the same. Isn't it skin a cow?
No, it's not skin a cow. I'm the worst at this. All right, we are going to finish on with number 15. Oh yeah, and then there was a bonus. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the reality, the housing prices and the urban growth area. So it's in the news. It's everywhere. It's happening all over the place. Housing prices have gone up substantially, as well as, so a part of that is supply and demand, number one. Number two is just overall appreciation. So I bought a house about a year ago. It appreciated almost 16%, which is pretty crazy. It's an amazing return on investment. We got a really great interest rate at that point, and things in that realm are moving around a little bit. But part of the thing that is going on also is like there's new construction going on that they can't build fast enough. I think now that things are wrapping up in the COVID stance, it's going to start get going again. And then the urban growth boundary, or the urban growth area, Portland was rezoned just a little bit ago, and basically they wanted more like multifamily within the Portland area. So a lot of lots now you're able to have an ADU or change a single family on a corner into a duplex or something like that. So
as big as a block.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. Some people are for it. Some people are against it, because usually when that happens, there's some tear downs of historic homes that are going on.
And trees and
things like that. So I am of the opinion of, I like property owners to be able to do what they'd like to do with their properties and make it the most advantageous. But I also like the idea of holding on and respecting, the historic things about the area, which is, I love the historic trees going down Irvington and Sabin and all those other neighborhoods. Like, man, if they tore those houses down and just put new things up, it would be a total bummer.
So we're kind of talking about two different things. So there are houses that can be labeled historic.
It's like a historic district
and then
area.
They can't be, like, they have to be maintained in the history in which they were constructed in.
Yeah.
And then there is the ones that have kind of been around for a long time. They aren't marked as historic, and they're maybe dilapidated, but they are still of late 1800s, early 1900s, those kinds of things. And those are being demoed, and then the smaller houses and whatever are being put in there. So there's a big backlash, I think, from a lot of the locals who don't want to see all of that old architecture being taken away. So there's the ones if you really are avid about it, then you would get your house somehow put on the historical register, and then
be in that area. But for instance, so I moved here in 2016. There's a street called Division, which is a really popular street. It's in Southeast. And when I moved here, there was more smaller, there was houses and smaller shops and restaurants. Over the years, what had happened is it was rezoned, part of the rezoning, but now there's a lot of those things have been demoed, and there's condos, but under the condos, there's restaurants and shops and bars. So more of the mixed use kind of thing. So if I could have taken pictures, there's probably photos of it somewhere, but Division, even from 2016 to now, completely different. But that's a very, very dense area. Yeah. But right around there is Richmond neighborhood, and then Hawthorne and stuff like that. And it's not happening
there, because usually what happens is those rezoning areas are happening within Interstate Avenue, Division, those really big throughways, and it only goes about 2 blocks out.
And then it's all residential. But in that sense, a lot of the people who live in those condos or apartments, they use public transportation, or they use bicycles.
Really close to some big.
And it's easy, so you could walk to the grocery store and all of that, so you don't need to have a car. So that's actually nice. So say you're in college, or you're a single person, or a couple, something like that. You don't have to have a car, and that's sort of being ignored a little bit. So there are those pockets. I think that's a positive, to have part of that diversity.
You're going to be really close to a bike trail, one of the greenways, or you're going to be really close to a max line or a bus line.
And there's Uber and Lyft. And all of that.
But the mass transit, so one of the things we didn't talk about is mass transit is huge here, and they're always putting additional funds into that, and it's always expanding as the urban growth boundary.
Wait, are we into the bonuses?
No, well, we're just kind of throwing the bonuses.
We're doing it.
We're going to lots of bonuses. So yes, every 10 years we vote on the urban growth boundary, and then you can't really build developments outside of that. And
think about what this means. So if you're in LA and it's just sprawling, literally for miles and miles and miles and miles, they don't have an urban growth boundary. So we have Portland Metro or in this area, and then it's like separated, and then it's a different neighborhood, Beaverton, or all of those different things. So I think there's rhyme or reason as to why the city has decided to do that, and probably to maintain the integrity of Portland. They are doing more infrastructure and things like that. But comment down below. This is a hot topic. It's a hot button subject for a lot of people. And like I said, we aren't for or against one thing, you know, in particular. I like to see growth. I like to, you know, be able to support more people coming here if they want to. I think
we're here to educate you guys who want to come here and make sure that you're going to the right place and direct you into where it's going to give you all the best options for whatever your lifestyle is.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have made it this far, man,
we have a bonus.
Well, you let me know because I want to take you to lunch. Like, good job. You're probably hungry and you need a drink right now.
Maybe you're at lunch right now, enjoying our banter over a nice cold beverage and some delicious food.
Yeah.
If not, you should come to Portland where we can take you to do all of those.
When we came up with the idea for this video, or with the topics or whatever, you were thinking, you know what? Yeah, the bonus though is something I think probably most people know about. She's showing off her tattoos. So one thing that is so prevalent here, or a couple of things, the tattoo shops, the strip clubs, and what was the third thing? Or was it those two? Yeah, so the tattoos and strip clubs, not together, but separately. So I was very surprised about the amount of strip clubs here. Like,
we have the most strip clubs per capita of any city in
the United States. They're cool. There's one they do stripperoki on Sundays, which is a total blast if you like to make fun of yourself. Get up and sing with the strippers. Mary's Club, it's been around. It's a Portland staple.
It just moved, actually.
Yeah, for a really long time. But like strip clubs in Vegas versus strip club in Portland, this is going to be more like the unedited, unphotoshopped, real sort of deal.
Yeah, they have some where like the girls are super tatted.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of niche ones where you can kind of find,
you can like find pretty much anything you want. So, not saying we go to strip clubs often, but if we did, we would know where to send you guys. And then the other thing, there are some amazing tattoo shops and artists here. Holy shit. So if you want pretty much any kind of tattoo, any artwork, I got this done actually in Bend, which is a 2-bar from Portland, and this one done here in a Portland shop. And I know a lot of your art is
mostly Portland.
Yeah, from here in Portland. Man, it's super cool. So maybe you want to get a tattoo and you're thinking about moving here, come here. We can point you in the direction of some really great shops. That's a definite bonus, I would say, that goes along with like the Portland weird, Portland art scene. It's a whole.
I lived in North Portland for almost 10 years, and it was in a little part of it is called Kenton. So the neighborhood is called Kenton.
So cute.
And in Kenton, it's like a street that goes this way, and then it's like 4 blocks around.
It's dope though.
And it has 3 tattoo shops, 3 barber shops, the weed store across the street from the library that's next to the liquor store and the corner market.
So you literally never need to leave.
And you have resale. Oh, that's another thing we didn't talk about was all the thrift stores.
Okay, that's going to be another fan. We need a bonus video.
There's so much great stuff here, guys.
Yeah, we're both, we're kind of like crushing right now.
Giving me chills.
Bonus number 2, 3, 4. I don't know. We've lost track at this point, but yeah, thrift stores, consignment shops, different things like that. Okay, how about this? Comment down below.
Yeah,
call,
let us know.
text, email when you guys are in town.
If we forgot anything, it's probably here, and we just didn't add it into the
donuts. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna end this video. Thank you so much for sticking around. Again, feel free to call,
subscribe, comment, text.
All
whatever,
the things. Yeah,
you want to get a hold of that.
Yeah, go ask to meet Bird. She's got cute little dog parks. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're wrapping it up again. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on our next video.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.